Hey everyone, happy college football. Welcome to Porcelain Picks. I'm your host, Andrew Fabian. We are mere hours away from the college football semifinals kicking off. Last week, in the second round, we went 4-1. You are going to want to stick with Porcelain Picks here. We've got another 4 picks for you between these two games because we at Porcelain Picks deliver the locks you need as you scroll atop the porcelain throne. I've got Mr. Dixon back with me. He and I are in lockstep on both games. I'll tell you our lock agreements as we push ahead. Thanks for being here all season long. Make sure you subscribe, like, comment. What did we get right? Where are we dead wrong? We'll be back with Porcelain Audit early next week ahead of the championship game. We don't plan to get any wrong this week, so let's kick it off with Thursday night's action. We've got the Miami Hurricanes, a 3-point favorite at the time of this recording against the Ole Miss Rebels. Both these teams are surprise entrants in the college football semifinals. We thought this was going to be an Ohio State-Georgia matchup. Luckily, I took that under in the Ohio State game last week, so we didn't actually pick them, but I thought Ohio State would win. But here we are, Miami and Ole Miss. A lot of just commentary around this one. We've got the Lane Kiffin saga still in full effect. Are the coordinators going to be fully here for this game for Ole Miss? They were going to LSU. They came back. They were allowed to coach today. How present were they during practice and preparations this week? Ole Miss seems to be in disarray. Problem is, I thought the same thing last week, and they dismantled Georgia in an epic comeback, winning that game by 5 points. Trinidad Chambliss, Ole Miss's quarterback. This guy's going to have another game of his life following up that Georgia performance. It's usually tough to put two games together like he did in that matchup against Georgia. This guy threw the ball with his left hand. He had them come back from over a touchdown deficit to Georgia to win that game. That doesn't happen too often to Kirby Smart, and it happened there in the Sugar Bowl. On the Miami side, they really locked down Ohio State's offense. It looked like Ohio State didn't want to be there. Whether they thought they were going to cakewalk through Miami, or whether maybe they just didn't want to be there. Maybe they were looking forward to the offseason. Miami locked them down the same way they've been doing all season long. Problem is, Miami, when they looked like they were beatable, it was against an SMU team earlier this season who has a running quarterback in Kevin Jennings. Very similar to the style of play that Chambliss plays. Chambliss is a better quarterback all around. So could that spell trouble for Miami's defense? Rob Dixon and I do not think so. Miami's defense, their entire team has been stout. They've been controlling the play so far this postseason. That is not going to stop. They did it at Texas A&M. They did it to Ohio State. I would argue Ole Miss, while they've been playing really hot lately, while Chambliss is an incredible player, Ole Miss is going to be the third best team that they've faced so far in the playoffs. And for that reason, both Rob Dixon and I agree Miami -3 is the play in this game. But I've got another one for you. Because we're in the semifinals, I'm going to have 2 picks for each. I'm going to pick the over-under in each. A little bit of a wrinkle in tomorrow's matchup, but I like the full game under in this, 52.5. I think Miami continues to run the football. They control the ball. I do think they're going to be able to get after Chambliss in the backfield. They're going to force him to pass. He's going to have some great plays. That will happen. However, he's going to be susceptible to turnovers. I think Miami turns him over at least once in this game on an interception, perhaps with a fumble as well. Take the Hurricanes -3, lock it and flush it. Take the under 52.5, lock it and flush it. The Hurricanes will be the first representative in the College Football Playoff National Championship. All right, let's move to the Friday action. We've got another huge matchup. The surprise team of the season, the Indiana Hoosiers, 3.5-point favorites right now against Oregon. It's a matchup. Earlier this season, we saw Oregon went down 30-20. They weren't able to get much done on the offensive side of the football. That was a big-time upset at the time. Oregon was coming off a big high in that defeat at a Penn State team that they ended up beating in double overtime, which was ultimately the demise of Penn State. But Indiana just went on to have an undefeated season. They did it methodically. They did it with doubters, and they just got the job done behind that defense and behind the Heisman winner, Fernando Mendoza. Dante Moore and Mendoza could be the top 2 picks in the NFL draft next year. They're matching up here in the college football playoff. What more could you ask for? We've got the over-under right now set at 48.5, and I said Indiana was -3.5. Oregon, when they've faced off against very stout defenses, Dante Moore has not showed up. They've struggled a bit. So what makes us think that Oregon's going to come to play here. They've got the weapons to do so, but again, when you see these matchups, they put up 30 points against Penn State, but they had 17 going into overtime. When they matched up against Indiana in the first matchup, they had 20 in that loss. That included a pick six, so that was 7 points off of that. Their offense had 13 points. When they matched up against Iowa, a game they almost lost, they had 18 points in an 18-16 win. And then most recently, in the second round of the playoffs, they beat a pretty stout Texas Tech defense. They scored 23 points against Texas Tech, and they had a garbage time score at the end of that game. So this isn't to say that Dante Moore can't step up and beat Indiana. I just do not see it happening this round. I think Indiana is running in full force. These guys are getting up for every game. They've got weapons on the outside. They've been able to slow the game down and really run the football. I see them stopping Oregon's offense from doing much. Dante Moore, he was only sacked 18 times or 16 times all season long. 5 of those came in the first matchup to Indiana. And it's not necessarily because there's a bunch of 5 stars on that defensive line who are bulldozing people. It's because of the scheme of the Indiana defense and creating some confusion for quarterbacks like Dante Moore, who will be high draft picks in the NFL draft. So take Indiana. This is another Dixon and Fabian lock. We've got -3.5. Lock it up and flush it up. Dixon thinks this is going to be another 8-point win. The line should have been 7.5 points. We'll see if he's right about that. I think it's going to be a close defensive battle that Indiana pulls away. I think they win by 10 points, just like they did in the first matchup. I think Dante Moore is going to have a bit of a better game, but he may get sacked 4 times this game. Lock it up and flush it up. I also told you that Oregon's offense was going to struggle. You got an over-under at a good number right there on Oregon's team total points. It's 22.5 right now. Take the under on the Ducks full game total. Lock it and flush it. Those are your picks. You got 4 stone cold locks there from the Porcelain Boys. We at Porcelain Picks deliver the locks you need as you scroll atop the Porcelain through. And we'll continue doing that through the end of this season, which marks just one more game. So we'll be back here for the Porcelain Audit. You're welcome for those picks. Happy college football, everyone.